What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, you know that I usually try to stay out of the fray whenever it comes to drama, but I do want to just present this to you guys because it has a lot of key people in this ecosystem, in this project, in this community that are involved, or at least that are speaking out. And so I wanted to share it with you, not to drive the conversation one way or another, although I will give some thoughts, but really hopefully just to inform you of what some of the major topics that are being spoken about right now with regards to the bot proposal that is currently in. So if you don't know who Dave McCoy is one of the community leaders, and he posted this yesterday. And I thought about doing the video yesterday, but I don't know. I just kind of sat on it, and then I saw a lot of conversations today, and that's what kind of spurred me to at least cover it here for you guys, especially as we head into the town hall tomorrow, where this may get addressed, or it may not. But maybe if we want it to be addressed, or you want it to be addressed, then at least you are aware of what it is. So Dave McCoy, who is one of the community leaders, doesn't really post often on Hive, and this is probably the most animated that I've seen him in terms of just feeling very passionately about something with, and Dave's a very passionate guy, right? But I feel like this has been taken to a whole nother level, and that's not saying anything about Dave, but just more so the reason that it stuck out to me and the reason that it piqued my interest in the first place was because this is something that Dave seems to be very passionate about, and I have a lot of respect for Dave and his passion for the project that is Splinterlands. So if you're not aware of Ali Majavi, I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry, Ali, if I say that incorrectly. But Ali was on a town hall a while back. Ali is the one who is essentially the head of the SPS DAO Foundation, and is one of the people who drove the proposal for the exchange listings a couple of months back. So Ali came onto the town hall and talked about it. And, you know, that's really the first time we had any kind of FaceTime with Ali, despite the fact that, you know, he's been the head of the SPS Foundation, I'm assuming, since SPS was launched in 2021. So that aside, that's really the only FaceTime that we've had with Ali. Ali, I think, has been somewhat or was somewhat active in the Discord around that time, but usually isn't chatting in a lot of the things or town halls or whatever the case is. So, and the reason I'm getting at that is I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just trying to give context to why Dave wants to, or why Dave is speaking out about this. But, you know, Ali's more so behind the scenes, only came out to really push forward that exchange proposal, which was another heated topic, right? One that I ultimately ended up voting for. But, that's kind of where Ali's role has been, usually behind the scenes, and we don't really know much else about it. So the reason that this is so important is because Ali, with the Blockchain FF, or Blockchain Founders Fund stake of SPS, downvoted the bot proposal. Or the anti-bot proposal, right? And that account, Blockchain FF, has 6 million tokens in it. So I think it's the second highest account in terms of stake weight. And you can see that it is obviously something that is pushing or influencing, I should say, the results for the overall vote. Obviously, you know, whales are going to dominate this thing. And so here is a whale vote, the second largest whale that has voted so far, weighing in on this. So the reason that Dave is, so animated about this, and I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but here is where he's talking about today. The head of the SPS DAO Foundation, through his considerable vote to keep the status quo on the current proposal. This is despite the fact that 2/3 of the community was supporting a player proposal. And keep in mind, we've been around like the 66-67% range. So that is what Dave is referring to. So he's saying that 2/3 of the community is supporting this proposal, and Aggie and Matt are abstaining to let the community decide. So the no vote wouldn't be so bad if Ali was a player, or if or in any way was up to current state of affairs within the community, or if he had communicated and interacted with the community on the topics involved. But he didn't. He just decided he wanted to keep things as they are for whatever reason. In other words, he voted no to keep the status quo. So, you know, Dave goes into why this matters for him. You know, essentially in the Splinterlands DAO, you need a supermajority of 66% to pass. And here's the thing. I'm with David, right? I appreciate and respect the votes of all players that dissented, or it doesn't matter. Like I'm not, if you know me, I don't vote shame. I don't think that's what Dave is essentially trying to do here. But he is recognizing that Ali holds a different position in the community rather than just a normal player or a team member, right? And this is what he says here, which I want to get into. But Ali is different. Ali is different because he should be promoting a process where the will of the community is listened to. He is the head of the SPS DAO Foundation, and he should not be using his vote to change the equation. Like the founders, he should refrain and let the community decide, especially if he has no idea what matters to the community. We don't know that, right? So I wouldn't go that far. Dave goes on to say he's not a player, doesn't follow the endless discussions, nor has he been involved in one conversation on this specific issue with anyone to Dave's knowledge. Put simply, he's sending a message that his vote will matter and he will wield it as he damn well pleases. So obviously Dave feels very strongly about this. I'm not saying that Dave is wrong, but I'm just pointing that out. These are Dave's words. So good luck with future votes. Status quo is all right. So we get into a bunch of other things here, which I don't think for the purposes of the video is necessarily important. Here's the thing. I'm going to give my thoughts on it now. I do agree with Dave. That if Aggie and Matt are abstaining, which I very much respect that they are doing. I mean, I just respect the fact that Matt is willing to come to the table and try something when he is fundamentally against it. He's fundamentally against the idea of banning any accounts, right? But he understands that this is a hot topic in the community, and you can see with the vote that it's a 2/3 almost majority that we have in terms of stake weight, that people want to see some kind of change enacted, that they're both just staying on the sidelines. So when it comes to the topic of Ali, I actually agree with Dave 100%, mainly because Ali can choose to vote how he wants. But this is the interesting part here. He is the head of the SPS DAO Foundation. And what is the DAO? Why do we get so excited? We get excited because it is the ability for for the community to decide where this game goes, right? We can decide what happens with the token, what happens with the cards, what happens with essentially everything, right? We're trying to decentralize this game at the highest of levels. And again, it's just baby steps right now. So when Dave is calling out Ali here, because of the fact that he is in this position, I agree. Right? Reluctantly, I agree. I mean, I do believe people should be able to vote whatever their conscience is. I mean, I think Matt and Aggie should be able to vote their conscience, whatever their conscience decides. But like I said, I respect the fact that they're abstaining and allowing the community to decide the direction of this. If anything, it feels even weirder for the head of the SPS DAO. When the DAO is supposed to be allowing the community to decide, it feels weird for the head of the SPS DAO to vote so blatantly against something that has majority support. And I know it's not super majority support, or we're on the border for super majority support, which is 66% rather than a clean 51-49. But I definitely understand where Dave is coming from when it comes to this. And like I said, I agree with him. Now, I don't know what the circumstances of Ali deciding to vote no on this are. And once again, I reiterate, this is not a vote shame, but what do I do? What have I been doing on this channel every time there's a proposal vote? I always want to understand the people who are voting differently than what I vote. I want to know why you're voting that way. Just because I think it's important as a community that we understand the other side of the argument. I may fundamentally disagree with you, but I respect your right to vote the way that you're choosing to vote. But I want you to be here and to be an active participant in the discussion so we can trade ideas. And maybe you'll change my mind, right? Maybe I'll change your mind. Maybe you'll change my mind. So in the same way, whether it's the lowest, somebody who owns one SPS, or whether it's Ali, who is the head of the SPS DAO, I think it's really important that Ali comes and talks about why he's voting this way. And again, even if I disagree with it, at least he's participating in the discussion and allowing us to understand his thought process as to why he's doing it. So I believe the community leaders are inviting Ali to, make some kind of formal statement. I'm 100% behind that. Again, there's no agenda for what I'm hoping he will or will not say. I just want to know what it is, because at the end of the day, he is one of the larger, stakeholders, or Blockchain FF is one of the larger stakeholders in the game. And so when you're going to just make a vote, but not have people understand why you're making that vote, as opposed to many of the other, names on that list. They're all whales we know. They're all whales that are active to a certain extent in the Discord, or have been playing the game, or whatever the case is. Whereas Ali, we've only seen once, right? We've only heard speak once. So again, I agree with Dave that I think that this should be something at the very least. I'm okay if he votes no. I just want to know why. That's all it is. So that's where my head is at on this. Like I said, I don't want to dive too much deeper into it, but I appreciate Dave. I actually appreciate and respect Dave a lot for calling this out. I know this is something that is, Dave is very passionate about, and you may agree or disagree with how Dave is going about it, but I think that it's important because I wouldn't have known about it otherwise, right? I don't really look at the, well, I do look at the list, but I don't really pay attention. I'm not trying to see, hey, who's voting no, who's voting yes. But I wouldn't have thought to myself that, oh, blockchain FF, they're voting against it. And I would have connected the dots, or I would not have connected the dots of him also being the head of the SPS DAO. So just for that simple fact alone, this is a DAO. We're trying to make this the will of the community. So if that is the case, then I would like for at least the person who is leading, or at least the head of this will of the community, to understand why he's voting against what seems to be, at this point in time, a 2/3 majority, or almost a two-thirds majority. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you're feeling about this. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some answers moving in the future. So that is all I have. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.